Hello, Erica here, and I'm here today with my spring TBR, a little bit late as we're like halfway through April, but I wanted to do this. I've seen a lot of booktubers kind of do like quarterly or seasonal TBRs. This has nothing to do with it being spring as a season. I do have a video forthcoming about good books to read in spring, but these books aren't necessarily chosen because they reflect the season at all. I kind of swore off monthly TBRs at the end of last year, and that's because it was too much pressure and it freaked me out. And I never read half of what I said I was going to, so it's kind of pointless. But I do have some things that I'd like to get around to in the next 2.5 months or so, and there's quite a stack of them, so I will tell you about them now. The first book I have is All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders. This is kind of a fantasy meets sci-fi book. It was recently published, and it's about two characters. The female character has kind of magical abilities, while the male character is really into technology and like time travel and things like that. And they were friends when they were younger, and now as grown-ups they meet again in kind of under tragic situations where there's an environmental crisis and like the world is falling apart, and I assume they have to fix it. This sounds amazing. I've heard wonderful things about it. It's beautiful, and I cannot wait to read this. The next book I have is one that I just started, and that's Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. I've been wanting to read another Austen novel. It's probably been about 4 years since, well, no, it's probably been about 3 years since the last one I read, which was Emma. I'm not a huge Austen fan, but I'm giving her another shot as I get a little older. Not super enamored with this yet, but we will see how it goes. Next, I have a short story collection, which I have said I am going to read so many times. I've put this book on so many TBRs. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. That's The Last Animal by Abby Jeannie, and these are short stories that kind of focus on animals. I believe is kind of a ongoing theme, or there's a lot of animal imagery. I'm not entirely sure. I saw it on Mercedes' channel ages ago, and she really enjoyed it. It's really pretty, and I'm hoping against hope that I finally read it in the next couple of months. Next, I have a book of poetry. These are new selected poems by Mark Strand. Mark Strand was a favorite poet of mine when I was in high school, but I've never sat down and like fully read a collection of his. I have a few really, really favorite poems that he's written that I'm actually absolutely in love with. I cannot speak today. And so I'm super excited to dive into this collection. This will be kind of a in and out kind of read, I believe, for me. I don't find it beneficial to myself to sit down and like read a poetry collection cover to cover because I don't know, it's not a good idea. Not one this large anyway. So I'm really hoping to get to this. Mark Strand passed away last year, which was really, really sad, and yeah, I just need to read this. And again, this cover is awesome. I have another short story collection, and that is Batik by Molly Peacock. I recently hauled this, and these are beautifully illustrated short stories. And there's a different story for each letter of the alphabet. I've heard pretty good things about this, and I can't wait to get into it. I have a few graphic novels that I recently acquired that I want to get to soon. The first one is Volume 3 of Lumberjanes. For those of you who don't know, Lumberjanes is a graphic novel series by a team of kick-ass ladies about kick-ass girls who are at this summer camp and encounter all kinds of crazy mythical creatures and get into all kinds of trouble, and I'm enjoying this series. It's a really fun read. The next graphic novel I picked up I'm super excited about. This is Cursed Pirate Girl by Jeremy Bastian. I met Jeremy Bastian at North Carolina Comic-Con in November, and he was doing some live drawing, and it's unreal what this guy can do. But this is the story of the Cursed Pirate Girl who's kind of on a quest, and it's in the blurb, it says that it's a nautical fairy tale of strange creatures, whimsical characters, swashbuckling danger, and the most bizarre pirates you could hope for. So I cannot wait. I like pirate stories. And the art is so detailed. I don't even know if it's going to pick up on camera, but it's just done in black and white. It's super detailed and beautiful. So I cannot wait to read this. Next one I'm really excited about is a recent release, and that is Volume 1 of Paper Girls. This is by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chiang, and this has kind of been a much anticipated release for me because I like Brian K. Vaughan's work with Saga, of course, and this is about 4 12-year-old girls who are newspaper delivery girls, and they get wrapped up in some grand adventure. So I'm really excited about this. I'm kind of digging the art Let's see if I can find a good example of it. And so I can't wait. Next I have Allie Smith's How to Be Both. Allie Smith is an author that I've been meaning to read forever. I have no idea if this is a good place to start with her, but it's the one I'm most drawn to, and from what I understand, it's a dual narrative, and one of the narratives is a Renaissance artist, and the other is it says a child of the 1960s, and it's kind of about art and love and life, and I'm just really excited about it. It's apparently very inventively told, and I cannot wait to finally read some Allie Smith. Next I have Sputnik Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami. I have wanted to read this forever. This I feel like is a favorite on BookTube among Murakami readers, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I think it'll be my 6th novel of his, so I'm super excited. I know nothing about this, and I like to keep it that way, so I'm sorry I can't tell you anything about it. I find that blurbs do Murakami no justice and just set up unrealistic expectations for my reading experience. Next I have The Story of My Teeth. This is by Valeria Luisei, and it is the story of a character who is an old man, and he has this prized possession of teeth that are allegedly the teeth of really famous historical figures such as Plato and Virginia Woolf. And it's just kind of telling his story, and I'm really, really excited about this. I believe I'm supposed to be buddy reading this month, so I better get to it soon. I have Emer McBride's A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing. I've wanted to read this since it won the Bailey's Prize for Fiction, or the Women's Prize for Fiction, and it's apparently a little bit difficult. I believe it's sort of told in stream of consciousness, and it's the story of a girl and her relationship with her brother who has a brain tumor. I'm really intrigued by it. I think it's going to be very emotional and probably mentally and emotionally taxing as well. The next book I have is the Book of Unknown Americans. I've wanted to read this since it came out as well, which I think was in 2013 or 2014. And this is the story of a young girl who immigrates from Latin America to the United States, and she suffered a terrible injury, and it's kind of the love story of her and a neighbor boy who kind of sees through her disfigurement, and I believe it also deals a lot with the immigrant experience in the U.S., which is a topic I am very interested in, so I'm excited to finally read this. And lastly, I have another new release. This is Arcadia by Ian Pears, and I believe that this has been compared to The Chronicles of Narnia, and also to Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials trilogy, and it's about a professor who's writing a fantasy novel and a young girl who is his neighbor, and she one day encounters a mysterious door and walks through it and finds herself in a magical land, where, like, the focus of the people is storytelling, and storytelling is an art, like, that's very highly revered, and that's all I really know about it, but I'm so excited. I heard so many people talking about this book, and then I walked into the bookstore and it was just sitting there, like, right in front of me that very same day, and not only was it just sitting there, but it's also a signed edition, and so I was like, yep, it was meant to be. So hopefully I love it. Not a huge fan of The Chronicles of Narnia per se, and I've only read the first book of His Dark Materials trilogy, so I don't know if I'm going to get all of the references, but I'm hoping to enjoy it nonetheless. So yes, those are some things that I'm hoping to read in the semi-near future. If you've read any of these books and would like to tell me anything about them that you think I should know before I read them, no spoilers, please. Please let me know in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Bye!